ESPN Wisconsin's Coaches Week rolls on. Alex Strouf hanging out with you from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all studios at the Avenue, beautiful downtown Milwaukee. And we stay right here in Milwaukee for this one. Year 3 for Bart Lundy and the Panthers at UW-Milwaukee. Coach, first off, thanks for doing this. And second off, I imagine for you, as we tip off the college basketball season, it's been so neat to see the culture and the expectations you've been able to brew up in just 2 years, now entering year 3, for the Panthers.
Yeah, Alex. Well, first, thanks for having me. I appreciate you previewing the teams in the state. I think that's important. Yeah, we're excited. I think our fan base is pretty juiced up, and I like where our team is, and we got a lot of experience, a lot of guys that have played a lot of basketball.
Yeah, a lot of guys that have played a lot of basketball, and something unique. Maybe it's not even that unique these days in college basketball, but I feel like it's unique in a mid-major is, Bart, I noticed a lot of your upperclassmen have played elsewhere, right? You've got a lot of guys that have chose Milwaukee, whether it's a second or a third team in collegiate hoops. How do you I don't want you to give me the recruiting pitch necessarily, but how do you tell these guys, hey, Milwaukee's building something special? We might not be a Connecticut or a Marquette even, but hey, man, we're building something special here. How do you go about that in this modern day of the transfer portal and the NIL?
Well, I think exactly that. We sell them on something special. When I look at our roster, really two things stand out to me with the guys that have been at other schools. One, sometimes it's difficult to get the high school kids to come here initially, and the kids from Milwaukee or from the proximity to the city. But once they go away, they start to realize, and I think all of us that live in Milwaukee understand this, that Milwaukee's a pretty cool place. And then when they're looking for the next school, we're a nice option for them. So we've gotten several of those guys on the bounce back that are from here, went away, came back, and then this year was a little bit different for us because we took four guys out of the portal. One of those, John Lovelace, was a bounce back. Actually, Danilo was as well. D'Lo was at Louisville, but then the other two, AJ McKee and Themis Fulks, had AJ played for me at Queens in Charlotte, and then Themis is also from North Carolina, but played for my associate head coach Jake Williams in junior college, and I had actually recruited Themis in high school. Feel like we've been recruiting him for a long time, so previous relationships helped.
Those are the best when it's a guy you've recruited at another school out of high school, and now you're recruiting him out of college. Relationships is what ultimately this boils down to, right, Bart? Like this is such, especially in this era of college hoops, it feels like it's so much about the relationships and how you garner them and how you sell them on a culture. It feels like. Am I speaking out of turn there? Or is that kind of what it boils down to? Relationships and culture?
Yeah, for sure. And then you got to have some NIL. Yeah. There's that too. But I think at this level, you got to have enough NIL to get your foot in the door, and then you sell your culture and the basketball piece as you will. But I think those guys, for sure, those four came here because of the style we play. They thought that they could become pros from here somewhere, whatever level they land at. But I think that's important to real players that want to do this for a living for a while.
You've coached for a while, Bart. This NIL thing, I think we're in the 4th academic year. How do you evolve and get – because I feel like we're gaining a new understanding of it still every single day. For you, a guy that's been doing this a while, pre-NIL, how do you adjust and evolve as the sport continues to adjust and evolve?
I think I change daily on my approach to the NIL. It's just another – the game has changed a lot, and things have changed a lot in college athletics. This is a dramatic shift. But for me, I can have my own personal opinion, but at the end of the day, nobody cares about that. You have to adjust, and you have to put your program in the best possible place to get. I learned a long time ago. I'm a way better coach with way better players. So NIL is a part of the recruiting process now, and a part of college athletics. We don't. I don't think that we're not going to have the money that Marquette has and some of those, but we have to try to be competitive at our level. And I think we work hard to do that. I've got a tremendous staff. And we just hustle. I've got some good backers. There's 100,000 graduates in Milwaukee from UW-M, so I need them to help us with this too.
That's fantastic. Bart Lundy, my guest here on ESPN Wisconsin Coaches Week, the third year at UW-Milwaukee for Bart. And Coach, you just mentioned it, right? I mean, I've talked to Greg Gard, Shaka Smart, Doug Gottlieb, and you for the special, and it's always fascinating to hear the different approaches in the offseason. I don't know that there's really an offseason, and not that there really ever has been, but especially now, season ends, I feel like, okay, you're figuring out who you're retaining, who's going elsewhere, and then how many spots you need to retroactively fill, whether that be in the portal or elsewhere. Is there even a day of an off season anymore in this era of college basketball for you?
No. There's really not. I think you can sneak away here and there.
Sure.
But it used to be that May was a pretty good month. But now last year, I'm sure the other guys said this too. Last year, the portal opened before a lot of the seasons were done,
right?
And so you've got to be on top of that, and you've got movement before before you've finished playing. I mean, it really is all swirling around, and that part of it's got to be cleaned up. The freedom for the players, that is whatever, but the timing of everything needs to be cleaned up, and then. The May used to be a pretty good month, but now May is portal season, so you're doing visits, you're grinding it out, you're trying to make sure that your guys stay. And then you've got 8 weeks in the summer that you're doing. And, so at some point you got to raise the NIL money. We run camps, and it is a lot. So you see some of the guys. Tony Bennett just retired. It's going to be hard on some guys if you're not malleable to the new way of things.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the name Tony Bennett, because this is going to be my last question on that, and then we'll talk more about this season. But I've asked everybody this because it is a fascinating situation. Tony Bennett, one of the great coaches in your sport, walks away just weeks before the season tips off, and credits the new era as a reason as to why he was stepping away at the time he did. As a head basketball coach at the Division I level, Bart, what goes through your mind when you hear news like that?
Well, he must be able to pay his bills better than me. I'm not stepping away from anything. They're going to have to run me out of here. I have 5 kids, so when I'm 90, I'm still going to be doing this. No, I get it. It's hard. It's difficult, and it's frustrating. Tony has a specific style he likes to coach. Lucky for me, I just roll the balls out and let them hoop. So everybody likes to do that. I get it, but I also don't get it. I'm not in that situation. It's I'm grateful. I'm grateful every day to have this position. Never take it for granted, and whatever rules they throw at us, hey, we're gonna find the way to maximize for our university how to go about running the best program we can.
The realest answer I've gotten on that comes from Bart Lundy of Milwaukee, who's my guest here on ESPN Wisconsin Coaches Week. Great answer by you, Bart, there. We talked about it at the top, but the expectations you've been able to build and the culture you've been able to build here entering your third season is getting national recognition, right? Your team is viewed as one of the top programs in mid-major. You're viewed as one of the top dogs in the Horizon League again here in 24-25. I know you probably aren't paying a whole lot of attention to that, right? The outside noise. But I imagine, as a program that obviously loves to see some recognition, what does that mean to you? Seeing that obviously it means nothing until you play the actual games, right? But going into the season, it's got to be like, okay, yeah, you know what? It's validation. We are building something pretty special here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think you always want to be in the conversation,
Right.
right? It's where you want to be, and you're right, means nothing. But I've been doing this a long time, but I'd much rather be having people say we think they're going to be good than they stink.
Yeah, true that.
So it's been we're here, staff and I. We've had the same staff since we got here. Really proud of those guys. We've had the same staff, and we've been here 32 months now. So to be able to build and continuously get better, it's kind of how we live, and I think it's just the accumulation of we talk about stacking good days, and it's what we do as a staff and as a team, and we'll see where this lands, but I like where we are. I like our guys, and I like how they work, and I think they're tough. So at worst, our fans are going to have an entertaining team to pull for and to watch.
Yeah, and a homegrown team for a big chunk of it too, right, Bart? I mean, this is the most in-state guys that Milwaukee has had, I think, since 2017-18, I think I saw. So it's been 7 or 8 years since this many homegrown guys have been a member of the Panthers. Was that an emphasis for you and your staff, or is that just kind of how the bread broke?
No, it's been an emphasis, and it was a complaint that I heard when I first got here. But at the same time, I think no matter where you are as a group, as long as there's enough players around you, you should always take care of home first. And it's not been an easy road. When we got here, not a lot of the kids wanted to come here. And the reputation was that we didn't take them for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. So we're chipping away at that. I was at Queen's University in Charlotte before here. When I first got there, I was there 9 years. And when I first got there, the team was from all over. By the end of our tenure there, I think 12 of our 13 guys were from the state of North Carolina, and like 5 of them from Charlotte. So I think you always try to take care of home, and once coaches believe in your product and want to send their guys there and trust you, I think it gets easier and easier.
No doubt. Tell us about some of the guys maybe some fans maybe don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of movement going on this day and age in college basketball. Who are you looking for to be some of your dogs this year, Bart?
Well, we got 4 senior guards that are terrific. They're all going to continue to play after this. We've got 6 total seniors. We got two inside guys that are terrific. Faison Fields and Darius Duffy. We've got a junior college transfer in JaMichael Stillwell that will make a huge splash onto the mid-major basketball scene. He's just I like to call him like our Jay Crowder. So I was at Marquette when Jay Crowder was there, and he does a lot of the same things. Rebounds it at a high level, can guard anyone, can score in, can score out. So really, really excited about him. And then the 2 guys from Milwaukee that we added, Danilo and then John Lovelace, both are terrific. So a lot to be excited about.
No doubt about that. Team motto this year. You guys subscribing to a motto? Did you establish something?
Yeah, well, we always do something within the team where it is just about doing today right. About we call it stacking days. Wake up, work as hard as we can, go to class, do right, lay our head down, wake up, and do it again. So just worrying about today. But marketing told me I had to come up with a different slogan for them. And literally, this is sometimes what I tell our team. So I just use what we always use. So we guard 94 feet, right? We pick you up and we make you earn every board that you get. So it's difficult to play against us. And then we run, make or miss. So score, we're going to run it back at you. We get a stop, we're going to run it back at you. So we believe that it has a cumulative effect. And eventually the floor tilts. So the other team feels like they're playing uphill. And then when we get the ball, the floor tilts and we play downhill. So our new slogan for marketing is tilt the floor.
Tilt the floor for marketing. That is That is terrific stuff. Closing thoughts, man. I think it's always insane how the offseason flies by, and I imagine for you it seems faster and faster every year. We're recording this Saturday. You tip off in about 48 hours, Bart. You ready to go? How pumped up are you for year 3 in Milwaukee?
Oh, super pumped up. We've I can't always say this about teams, but this team has earned the right to be good. They have really worked through the summer, through the fall. They're in elite shape. They're tough. They're pulling for each other. So I'm really pumped.
I love it. Bart Lundy here on ESPN Wisconsin Coaches Week. Coach, really appreciate you taking the time. We'll do it again soon, and enjoy the tip-off of the college basketball season, all right?
Thanks, Alex.
Recording stopped.